Okay, you guys, so we are back with another video. In this video, Sean Diddy Combs' legal team, they are slamming Judge Aaron Subourama. They're accusing him of crossing a line with a 50-month sentence. And what they're saying is that he's acting more like a juror than a judge. So Diddy is demanding a new appeal, which he did late Tuesday evening. He's demanding that his conviction be overturned and and for him to be released from prison, or at the very least his sentence be lightened. No, this man doesn't know how to take no for an answer. And he's like, what is going on in his head? I do hope that he picks up some more time on his sentencing. And it seems as though something is coming Diddy's way and he's trying to run from it. But is there any running for Sean Diddy Combs at this point in time? Absolutely not. He's going to have to sit nice and sit pretty where he is, because I definitely believe that he's trying to run from possible additional, time behind bars. And as such, it's why he's pushing this hard and pushing back on Judge Aaron Subourama. So basically, they're saying that while his lawyers have previously filed multiple appeals, as you guys know, they have filed so many appeals at this point in time. This one singles out Judge Aaron Subourama for acting as the 13th juror in Diddy's criminal trial. So, he's saying the judges being the judge, jury, and executioner, basically. Now, in the docs, lead appeal attorney Alexandria Shapiro claims that the judge's draconian 50-month sentence is based on the conduct for which the actual jurors acquitted Diddy, namely the racketeering and sex trafficking counts. I tell you that every time an attorney finds a loophole, they're gonna use that to their advantage. And you see, from watching that Diddy documentary, Sean Diddy Combs' The Reckoning, that's a 50 Cent documentary, you can have a sense of who Diddy is when it comes to his attorney, how he talks to them, and how he insists that they do something even if it's not necessarily gonna get him anywhere. He insists that they do it, and they do it. Is this gonna get him anywhere? Absolutely not. No, what Sean Diddy Combs' attorney is saying is that the 50-month sentence is based on the racketeering charge, which the jurors have declared him on. So what she is insisting, even though that's not the case, right? Because she's saying a 50-month sentence would be for racketeering and sex trafficking. So what she's arguing is that the 2 counts of Mann Act does not warrant a 50-month sentence. So what she's saying is, to be specific in terms of what she's claiming, they're saying Shapiro claims Subourama incorrectly said during sentencing he could consider Diddy's behavior related to the more violent charges, even though he'd been acquitted of them, which he calls a violation of Diddy's constitutional rights. Diddy's insisting his sentence should only be based on the 2 counts of violating the Mann Act, transporting individuals for the purpose of prostitution, for which he was convicted. So Shapiro is saying Judge Aaron Subourama incorrectly said during sentencing he could consider Diddy's behavior to be related to the more violent charges. But even though the judge said that, that's not what, he was found guilty on, because we saw the final decision of the court, we saw the court documents, and it made it clear that it was the Mann Act. And remember that Judge Aaron Subourama said what Diddy did to Cassie was so violent that he cannot allow him to get away with it, and as such he has to charge him the $500,000 for what he did to Cassie, because what he did to those two women was far too violent, especially what he did to Cassie, because he got away on everything that he did to Cassie. The transportation to engage in prostitution, that was only because he transported men to be involved in prostitution. It's not because of Cassie. It's not because he put hands and feet on her. It's not because she was running away from a freak off and he chased her back to it. It's not because he drugged her. It's not because he blackmailed her parents. It's not because of any of those things. It is because the judge said, you can't do this to this woman and get away because you've been found guilty on the Mann Act just for transporting the men for the purpose of prostitution. He wasn't found guilty on anything he did to Cassie or any of the other women. So now what he's saying is that his attorney is saying that during the trial, the judge made an error by saying that Diddy's behavior is related to the more violent charges. Even if an error was made there, that's not what Judge Aaron Subourama was saying. They're just using everything as a loophole. We saw the final court documents, and if we know exactly what it said and the final ruling said, we know this is just another desperate attempt to get Sean Diddy Combs out of jail. But it's definitely not gonna work. But as his legal team, they're gonna give it a try for whatever it's worth in hopes of getting him out. Now Diddy is insisting his sentence should only be based on the 2 counts of violating the Mann Act, as I've said, transporting individuals for purpose of prostitution, for which he was convicted. That's what he's doing time for. And that is why he was sent to a minimum security prison. That's why it's not for the racketeering, because if it was for racketeering, he wouldn't have been transferred to the minimum security prison. And that is why they shouldn't have given him that option, because the more they give to him, it's the more that he wants from them. Now they're saying in previous appeal, Diddy's team has also argued he did not actually set up the travel or payments for the male prostitutes. He has been arguing that consistently. He did not set it up, but he's the one that initiated it all. So because what he's saying is that he has never put money in anyone's hands. He's saying that he has never communicated with anyone for the purpose for them to engage in this sex trafficking prostitution act. But he is the mastermind behind it. He didn't do it directly, but he was the orchestrator. So the onus is on him, because if they remove him from the equation, it wouldn't have taken place. So he's the mastermind, and as such, the onus is on him. Remove him from the equation, the crime wouldn't have taken place. So he's using all the legal loopholes that he can, but is it gonna work in his favor? Absolutely not. Like, there's a crime and you have gotten away with a lot, you're not gonna get away with this. No, he's saying because he did not set up the travel or make the payments for the male prostitutes, he did not violate the Mann Act. He did it because the onus is on him, and that's how the law works. Once you are an instigator, once you are the perpetrator, once you are the reason that led to the crime being committed, the onus is on you. So the onus is on Diddy. It doesn't matter what his legal team is going to argue and how good they are, they will never get off that one. The onus will always be on him, because if they remove him from the equation, there wouldn't have been a crime. Now they're saying federal prosecutors still have a couple of months to respond before the case can go before the appellate court. He's not gonna get off. He can try, but the onus is on him, because if you take him out of the equation, no one would be paying a woman giving a woman money, telling her to call male sex workers, and he was the one who video everything. So he is the mastermind. The onus is on him, and he'll never get off of that.